Hello, everybody, and welcome to MUFC MPB here on YouTube. My name is Anton Brooks, and today is December the 12th, 2024. It is Thursday, I believe. I just want to say a quick sorry to a bunch of you guys that will, about the lack of streams this week. We've had some issues with our designer, or I don't know what I would call him, but our designer. So we haven't been able to create the channel art or whatever for the thumbnails and etc. So that is the reason for the lack of streams for this week. But today is a new day, and today we are able to move on. And today we will be able to talk about some good news about a transfer that is going to happen in the summer transfer window as soon as it does open. A Paraguayan left back going by the name of, before I get it wrong, Diego. I don't know if it's Leon. Diego Leon. Currently 17 years old. He's a left back of Paraguayan origin and currently plays for Cerro Porteño over in Paraguay. Will be joining Manchester United as soon as in June next year, so June 2025, when he turns 18. I'll respond to that comment in a second because I think it brings up a very good point about another young left back that we have at the club. But yeah, Diego Leon. This all sort of came out in the last day and a half, I'd say. Over the last few years, maybe in the last 3 years, we've had so many links to players from South America. I'm talking about Julian Alvarez, Enzo Hernandez, Moises Caicedo being the three main culprits linked to Manchester United. And of course, obviously they haven't come to Manchester United. They've gone to Brighton, they've gone to City, and they've gone to Benfica and then to Chelsea in Enzo Hernandez's case. So Manchester United heavily linked with these guys, maybe because it is Manchester United and you say Manchester United are linked with these guys and we're talking to these guys, it makes other clubs act fast, it increases the price, etc. It does all of these different things. But with this one, a deal spearheaded apparently by Jason Wilcox, we've got it over the line. We've done it in... Sorry, I'm still ill. We've done it in... we didn't go to Paraguay yesterday and sign yesterday. We would have been speaking about this for a while, but only in the last day or so have we allowed it to be leaked to the press. Sorry. But Simon Stone... in the last 15 minutes has reported that Diego Leon and his entourage are in England to finalise his move to Manchester United! The deal is worth around £6 million, including add-ons, according to Cerro Porteño, which means that it probably won't be above £6 million, but if the add-ons do get paid, then it probably will equal £6 million. This is in the last 15 minutes, by the way. So there has been a lot of... the initial fee, I think, according to reports by Roberto Rojas, a Paraguayan journalist, Diego Leon will officially join Manchester United in June 2025 once he turns 18 for a transfer fee of around £4.7 million. And Pepe Torres... who is another South American journalist, said it will be signed soon, but it is 100% confirmed. So we have a new left back, whether or not... Well, listen, none of us, and I mean none of us, apart from the 3 or 4 highlights on Twitter that we've all seen of him dribbling a loose pass on the edge of the box, of a goal that he scored. If other guys have done a bit of extracurricular revision and streamed some highlights on YouTube, then fair play. But nobody knows who Diego Leon is. So I can't say anything about him. I can't profess to know anything about him. From the clips I've seen, obviously, he looks good on the ball. He looks relatively strong in terms of his sturdiness. He doesn't really get barged off the ball that much. He looks like a keen dribbler, and he looks like he's comfortable in the final third of the pitch. However, that might be 3 instances out of 3,000. The 2,997 other instances, he doesn't know how to dribble. We don't know. I can't say anything just yet. But from what it looks like we have a quite comfortable player who probably wouldn't come in and start straight away, but would be someone for the very near future. Mustafa says, I think Amas gets sold. I think Luke Shaw gets sold. And we have... Look, I don't really know, obviously, because I don't speak to Ruben Amorim, but I don't know Amorim's true thoughts on Terrell Malacia. I think more often than not, when a football player gets an injury that keeps them out for that long, most of the time they're never going to be back to where they were. And I think where Terrell Malacia wasn't even good enough for what Amorim wants. So I think we have to be sensible here. We can't wait until next January not when he gets injured again, but when we realise, oh God, he's actually kind of shit now. And then we can't replace him. You have to predict and anticipate these things and just make sure you're prepared for every situation. Let's take Brighton, for example. Sorry, the winter really does get to me. Let's take Brighton, for example. Every other match, they have a new player. It's not them going out and buying a new player every week, because obviously you can't. They're just extremely well prepared. They lose Caicedo, they have Baleba. They lose Trossard, they have Matoma. Danny Welbeck is there, still playing football at the ripe old age of 34, I think, maybe. They have Everton Ferguson. They got Van Heck. They got Verbruggen. They have a player for every scenario. If anybody gets injured, someone else can come in because they're well prepared. Manchester United get injuries and we're thinking, oh my God, like who do we actually don't have it. You got Lindelof and Evans playing left back. Manchester United shouldn't have Lindelof and Evans playing left back. I don't think Amas gets sold. We just bought Amas in from Watford, I think 18 months ago. Malacia has just come back from probably what could have potentially been a career-ending injury. We have Luke Shaw, who is an injury. He is the personification of an injury. I think you have Amas and Diego Leon, both very young, both under 18, I think. Not fighting for the starting left-back spot. I think what really happens... I think what the ideal plan is to have 3 left-backs. One of Luke Shaw and Malacia gets sold, or we sell both of them and get a Theo Hernandez or someone like that. Because then what that does is, well, first of all, it's interesting with Theo Hernandez because he can cover the left centre-back spot as well. You have these 2 guys, learn from them. One of them will definitely be... Okay, first of all, I'm going to preface this by saying not every single young player that gets signed by a big club like Manchester United do they see a genuine path to the first team for. Some of the signings, the young signings that we make, are purely for financial reasons. We sign Diego Leon for £6 million. He gets good, plays a few first team games in the next few years, and we sell him on for 25 million. That's profit. A few signings will be like that. We don't know. Maybe Diego Leon is that sort of signing. Maybe he is signed with the view of being a future profit. However, if he does go on to be, oh my God, this guy's the best left back in the world, then sweet, we've got the best left back in the world for £6 million. I think that's what one of the Amas or Diego Leon deals are like. Because if we are looking at someone like Theo Hernandez, who I will speak about later on in the stream, then that would make a bit more sense. Leon is talented South American up there with Esteval and Kenny Paz. Nice. If that's true, then nice. Y says hi. Hi, Y. Underwood, we wouldn't get this done. Wilcox was part of the deal, part of the departure of Ashworth. Yeah, Jason Wilcox has essentially had a very, very good audition at Manchester United. So I'm happy with him. I was happy with when we got him anyway. United should sell Shaw and Malacia, sign Davies, and have Amas and Leon develop. I would go with Theo Hernandez because we do have apparently two very, very, very good teenage left backs. I think signing a 24-year-old might be against the curve, but if we signed a 27-year-old who, you know, could move on in a few years, I think that would be better. I love this deal, says why. This will be first Paraguayan to play for us. It could have been Roque Santa Cruz. I still remember Roque Santa Cruz. I really wanted Roque Santa Cruz at Manchester United in the summer of 2009, I believe. Shaw and Malacia are gone. We can't rely on injury-prone players. Shaw is injured for life. Yeah, no, that injury against PSV really did ruin him. Would you swap Xerxes for Theo? Well, yes, I would. Yeah, I would swap Xerxes for Estepinian. I would swap Xerxes for Theo. Well, speaking about left backs and Theo Hernandez, it has been reported in the last day or so that AC Milan value Theo Hernandez at £41 million. Let me get that just so I know exactly who reported it, because £41 million, I hope it's real. CM.com. Calcio Mercato. So Calcio Mercato, one of the biggest and most reliable football sporting outlets in Italy. AC Milan would want at least £41 million if they were to sell reported Manchester United target Theo Hernandez. Get him in. Get him in. Get him in. I will piggyback him from Italy. No breaks. Pause. Get him in. £41 million for the best left back in the world, who would thrive in the left midfield position in Amorim's system. Get him in. This is a deal Manchester United have to do. Yes, we just signed Diego Leon allegedly, and yes, we do have Harry Amas. Theo Hernandez, 41 mil. Don't care if he has 1.5 years left on his contract. 41 million for the best. I understand he has 1.5 years left on his contract, but he is the best in class. After Theo, there is nobody. You don't get better than Theo Hernandez. We all talk about contract politics, but at some point you do have to just genuinely pay for the quality of player. You're bringing in someone who you actually cannot improve on. You're signing the best in class. Theo Hernandez is the best in class. 41 million for Theo Hernandez with a year and 18 months, with 18 months left on his contract. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Give them Xerxes. Don't give them any money. Give them Xerxes and 5 million. Do it. Get Theo Hernandez in. This shouldn't be something that we posture and I want to pay 30 million. I'm not going to pay 41 million. I'm going to pay 34 million. We shouldn't be doing that. He is the best in class. This isn't an opportunity that comes around that often because there are only 11 players who are best in class. Only 11. Because it's a football team. You've got Theo Hernandez. You've got Alisson. In my opinion, it was Carvajal, but he's injured now. So it is Trent Alexander-Arnold. You've got Van Dijk. You've got Rudiger. All of these players don't play for Manchester United and will never play for Manchester United. Manchester United have the opportunity to go and sign Theo Hernandez, who is the best left back in the world. Brighton recruit well. Kadioglu, Estepinian. Kadioglu would actually, funny enough, would be perfect for this system as well. Maybe a bigger club looks to sign in a year or two. United need to keep signing these younger cheap players under 10 million, loan them back to the original club or United's sister club. United needs to fully maximise the multi-club system. Yes, not with the view of playing all of them because you won't be able to, but with the view of selling them on for profit. We need to make as much money as possible so we can not get back to the days where we sign Pogba for 90 million every window, but we need to be able to. Because at the moment, we're not as rich as we think we are, I think. We need to generate more money from sales. We need to claw back the damage that the Glazers and Woodward done in terms of the finances at Manchester United. 41 million for 1 year and a half left on his contract is decent. 30 million is more realistic. What is Hernandez's output? I prefer the Bayer Leverkusen left back. Yeah, Grimaldo is also a very good shout. He definitely isn't the best in the world. Are you talking about his output in terms of his goals, or? And I will criticize that question because I had a go at my friend on Twitter by accident yesterday or a couple of days ago. When we talk about defenders, we have to stop talking about their attacking output. Why? It is Christmas. This is my Manchester United onesie. We have to stop talking about attacking output for defenders. I don't know. I'm going to call this woke football because it's ridiculous. Why are we talking about goals and assists when it comes to... I'm not saying that's your question, by the way, but it just made me think that might have been the question. Why are we talking about goals and assists for defenders? Because when we talk about goals and assists for defenders, you end up having someone that can't defend. Because people are too focused on, oh, are they scoring? Are they scoring goals? What are they doing off corners? Like, we have someone here who is the best left back in the world. Not just because they are good going forward, but because they are solid defensively. They are the complete package. Theo Hernandez is the complete package. Came through the academy at Atletico Madrid, moved to Real Madrid, moved to Real Sociedad on loan, and then moved to AC Milan. So he's Spanish by birth, French playing. I don't know. I don't actually know if you guys wanted his goals or not. But this season, he's got 12 games played in Serie A, 2 goals and 2 assists, 1 red card, 1 yellow card. It was a straight red. No goals and assists in the Champions League. There we go. Because this season is not halfway old, I'm going to go with the 2023-2024 season, which was last year. In 32 games, he got 5 goals and 4 assists. So if that's what you wanted, that's what you get. He's played 300... I'm on Transfer Market, by the way. In 308 games at left back, he's got 34 goals and 47 assists. So that's 81 goal contributions in 308 games at left back. He's played 7 games at centre back in his career, and he's played 15 games at left midfield, in which he has 2 goals and 1 assist. So yeah, his attacking output for a defender is good. 331 games in his career, 36 goals and 51 assists, which takes that to 87 goal contributions, which is a goal contribution every 3.8 to 4 games, I think, which I think is quite good. But nevertheless, he is a solid defender. He's very strong. I don't think people think he's as strong as he is. He puts out that stiff arm, puts out that arm. It's like a brick wall. You're not getting past it. Theo Hernandez is quick, but it's not that good at... What? But it's not that... Theo Hernandez is quick, but it's not that good. The winning scores and gets assists, one of it. I'll be real, Dan. I can't decipher that. The reason why I am but right wing back is because he's attacking and he's half decent defending, like to buy over Kozlad. Because they're not flashback. The left wing back needs to be attackers, so you can have 5 attackers. Yes, MUFC has finally broken the South American curse. Theo can defend and attack just like Mazraoui. Perfect age to ease transition for Amas and Leon. See, this is the thing. If we were to have Theo Hernandez in the left midfield position, genuinely, you could have the best in position on the left side, and you could have Mazraoui on the right side. You could have Amad in one of the 10s. And if it's true that Bruno Fernandes is going, put Kobbie Mainoo there. You got the... Because this is this is left for you as well. Theo Hernandez here, Mazraoui here, Amad here, and Kobbie Mainoo here. But I think it's perfect behind a bad boy striker. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think it's because it's harder to judge defending than attacking, and we are primed to bias attacking output, so it's not an uncommon thing to overrate. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easier to. I don't think it's harder to defend judging than attacking, because, well, I think if you're someone that looks purely at the stats, then yes. But I think it really is going down to the eye test. And I know it sounds a bit dumb and it sounds a bit Twitterish saying eye test and all of that. But you can see if someone locks someone down. You can see if Salah keeps beating him. You can see if Deo Upamecano is an abysmal on the ball. You can see these things with your eyes. Look, Theo Upamecano was someone a few years ago who Manchester United were looking at. All it took was a couple of games of us. All it took was for us to watch a couple of games of Upamecano for us to think, oh my God, forget the stats. This guy's terrible. He can't pass. He's an accident waiting to happen. He does this and he does that. This is what I mean. The stats showed us Theo Upamecano was one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs, young up-and-coming centre-backs in Europe. As soon as we watched him, oh my God, how is he on the football pitch? Do you know what I mean? I would rather go for Patrick Dorgu. Download Football Manager then, because I want Theo Hernandez. There is a rumour that Madrid are interested in Licha. Would you sell him? I would, and sign Inacio. If we were to sell Lisandro Martinez, okay, first of all, I will answer that by saying yes, I would sell Lisandro Martinez. That's not because I don't rate him. That's not because I have a vendetta against him. That's just because I think it's football. If a team comes in with a suitable offer for one of your players, then you should sell them, go out and improve. It's a perfect opportunity for a team to go out and improve on a position in which there is a possibility to. If we were, you say here, Nubis, that you would go and sign Inacio. I'm personally a little bit over Inacio and the other one who is Antonio Silva. If we were to sell Lisandro Martinez, then that means that we would have a vacancy in the left centre-back position. I would then go and sign someone like Ousmane Diomande. Van Hecke from Brighton is good. I do like Van Hecke. I don't know if it's Van Hecke or Van Heck from Brighton, who is good. At some point, you would need to go and bully another big team. If we were to sell Lisandro Martinez, I don't think it would be this summer. I don't know. In an ideal world, we'd go over to North London and go and sign Gabriel for the left centre back position. In an ideal world, who else could you go and sign for the left centre back position? Bastoni. At some point, we have to go from signing players that are almost there to players that are there and are on the world stage. Bastoni, Gabriel, are the two centre-backs I can think of straight away. Van Hecke's up and coming. Ousmane Diamande's up and coming. Those are the four centre-backs I can think of off the top of my head. But, yeah, I would sell Lisandro Martinez. 40 million, add another 20 of your own money. You have 60 million to spend on a centre-back. You could sign three of those four choices. Gabriel obviously would be way more because he's at Arsenal. They wouldn't want to sell to us. He's probably one of the best centre-backs in the league, etc., etc. I don't think Amas is getting sold. Can he defend Salah, etc. in a wide areas? Can he be effective in zonal marking system? Can he take throw-ins? Does he dive in or delay attacks? These are the top things you want to look at. I guess that's about Hernandez. I say yes to pretty much all of them, to be honest. Sell Garnacho. Do you guys think it's true that it's Garnacho's brother that's been leaking the lineups to those aggregator accounts? Because I don't think it's true. I think it's just so coincidental that Garnacho's brother and Garnacho are the ones taking the fall at the moment, given how much hate Garnacho's getting at the moment, you know? Oh, sorry, Nubis. I have no idea. I just think I think everything that comes out around Manchester United is so funny. It's such perfect timing. I don't really care about it. I just think the aggregator account should have a bit more common sense than to leak lineups hours before. Because, yeah, why would you tell... I just sound like SI. Why would you tell the other team that you're playing against exactly who's going to be on the pitch and where? Because who knows? It might be a surprise. We go into a, the opposition, some manager somehow sees it and thinks, oh, I'm not going to play him. I'm going to play him because Mount is playing or because Ahmad's not playing. It doesn't make sense. Like, all of these accounts that I don't care if it's leaked 10 minutes before, because not much is going to happen in 10 minutes, because by that time the lineups have already been submitted, etc, etc. But when it's 3-4 hours before, I just think, are you supporting Manchester United here? Because you're working against Manchester United. You're working against us. You're working against Amorim. You're working against Ten Hag. You're leaking everything so early. I can understand a journalist because it's their job. They studied for this. They paid university fees to go to this. They actually get paid by a publication to leak or to report on any Manchester United news that they hear, whether it's good news or bad news. Whether or not we like it is something else, but it's their job. All these aggregator accounts who wake up in the morning, don't brush their teeth, I don't think they shower, they log on to United District or whatever it is, and then leak all of this information, especially the team news, half a day early. Bad news that probably isn't actually true anyway. They're not Manchester United fans. It's never made sense to me. Never ever made sense to me. But yeah, like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'd sell with Martinez to Spain if it meant we can get rid of him. Dreadful defender. He's not a dreadful defender. I don't know why we've all suddenly turned on Martinez. Sell Lissandro and buy a new left centre back. Promote Kokonki. I think we have to be careful with Kokonki because, again, not many of us have seen him play, so there's not really much opinion. I think when we see a young player on the bench, yeah, of course, they have to earn the right to be there. But some young players aren't actually able to make the jump. And I think by putting Kokonki's name out, I think we need to let him lay low in the shadows and come out onto the pitch when he's ready. In comparison to, we see him on the bench, Ruben Amorim speaks about him, then every single Manchester United fan is like, Kokonki, Kokonki, Kokonki. It puts pressure on the kid. He's 16. He's not going to be playing first team football week in, week out this season. You might, you probably see him a couple times. You might see him in a Carabao Cup game, or if we have a dead rubber Europa League. Imagine if the last year, I don't know who it's against, but if the last Europa League game we've already qualified, we can't actually go any lower, we can't go any higher. It's a dead rubber game. You might see him in a game like that. But if we speak about him all the time, if we say, we should promote him, you haven't seen him play. Like, you haven't seen him play. Like, this is my thing. Like, we haven't seen him play. We can't put the pressure on the kid. Three centre backs. The 2 central midfields are defensive. That leaves 3 attackers. Would rather wingers makes 5 attackers. Yeah. My instincts are, yes, it's the Garnacho brothers, but not just them. I wouldn't think. Like, I don't know. I don't think Garnacho's like Alejandro Garnacho is that stupid. There is a rumour, Luckhurst, if I'm not mistaken, that there are a few players starting to dislike Amorim's rotation. Any truth? What I'm going to say to you now is he hasn't even been here for 30 days. It's not even been 30 days. It's so not true. It's so not true. It's so not true. Guys, come on! Come on! Shut up! He hasn't been here for 30 days. Players are not turning on Amorim within 30 days. What are we doing? What are we talking about? Come on. He hasn't even been here 30 days. Is this what's going to happen? Is this what is going to happen? Amorim comes in. Loses against Arsenal. Players don't like him. 2 months down the line, he doesn't get his signings. He's pissed. We're not getting the results we want. oh, all the pundits are like, oh, fuck the three back. We need to go back to a four back because this is England. You know, England. They only play this sort of way. Amorim's coming. He's young. He's inexperienced. Manchester United's too big a job for him. He was only at Sporting. Forget the fact that he was unbeaten at Sporting. Forget the fact that he had the most prolific striker in Europe at Sporting. Is that Manchester United now? It's not going to work. Media agenda is started. Oh, Amorim, out, and he's gone. What is going on? It's not even been 30 days. It hasn't even been 30 days. So Leon has signed. Yes, he has signed. He'll be joining in June 2025 when he does turn 18. If any players don't want to get on board and are crying about rotation, they know where the door is. It's not true. There's literally been, 4 matches? 4 matches. What is he going to do? Only play 11 players for his first 4 months? Come on, guys. We're better than this. The MUFC MPB community is better than this. Come on, Nubis. I expect more of you. I hope you don't believe that, Nubis, by the way. Leach is getting more smoke than the Trap House, and it's not warranted. Put a beat over that and spit it again. Reload. Martinez had 3 decent months. He can't defend a channel, can't play zonal marking over aggressive. He struggles in a high line, wins 1 out of 3 headers. No amount of line breaking passes is worth that cost. Until his injury, he was very good. He can defend the channel. I think what we did was get brainwashed by that one Salah clip, which he did actually defend very well. Well, he did actually defend relatively well. That you see where that picture was taken, where Salah was there, and Martinez was looking that way. A 1/10 of a second later, Martinez was also going that way. He did just slip, which was unfortunate. I don't understand this over-aggressive thing. I do know he has made a few mistakes. The one against Crystal Palace, that was stupid. Still don't think it should have been a red because he wasn't anywhere near the man. But I would have understood if it was a red. There was another one, I can't remember it. He has made a few, genuine mistakes. But we need to stop overreacting. He was our best defender for a year and a half. He was. We were all saying it. Everyone was saying it. Let's not rewrite history here with Lisandro Martinez because he hasn't been playing well of late. He was he was our best defender from when Eric Ten Hag brought him in to when he got injured against Sevilla. His general play is good. This, we can't rewrite history. We were all saying it. We were all in agreement that Martinez was our best defender. We were all in agreement that Martinez was a top 3 centre back in the league behind Virgil van Dijk and William Saliba. It was Van Dijk, Saliba, or Saliba, Van Dijk, and then Lisandro Martinez. Let's not rewrite history. This is what we do a lot as Manchester United fans, especially Manchester United fans. Rashford apparently had only 2 good seasons. No, he's had about 6 or 7 good seasons. He's just had 2 extremely poor seasons. Lisandro Martinez was one of our best defenders. He's now playing in a back 3, which isn't something I don't think he's done in his career. He plays for Argentina in a back 4. He played for Manchester United in a back 4. He played for Ajax in a back 4. He's now suddenly playing in a back 3, where he's going to have to learn to do something which he hasn't really done throughout his career. Which is playing a back 3 and defend the channels. Defending the channels isn't something... It's not easy. I'm not saying this in a patronising way, but I've played football, I've played centre-back, I've played DM centre midfield. Defending channels as a centre-back, it's confusing. It's confusing as fuck. Because am I here? Am I there? Am I looking at that guy? Am I looking at that? At times, I don't even know whether I'm meant to head the ball. I throw myself in the air, almost twist my body up to head the ball because I don't even know if I'm in the right place. Defending the channels isn't easy. Tell you that, especially when this is first or second match as centre-back. Don't know. It's confusing. It is confusing. Lisandro Martinez was our best centre-back until he got injured. Martinez had... What? Oh, sorry. Mistakes happen. It's more about his general play, which isn't good enough. So yeah, I agree that recently he hasn't been up to scratch. That I am in agreement with. But we can't rewrite history and now say, because of the last few games / a couple months, we can't now say, oh yeah, he's rubbish. He has always been rubbish, blah, blah, blah. No, we can't. We're not going to do that. Yeah, at the moment, he needs to improve. But overall, Fabrizio tweet. Let's see what Fabrizio's tweeting. One sec, bath time. I type like a boomer. Fabrizio Romano. Oh, thank you, Hamza. So, let me just read it. Okay, this is regarding Diego Leon. Fabrizio Romano tweeted 4 minutes ago, the agreement between Manchester United and Cerro Porteño for 17-year-old left-back Diego Leon is almost done. Fee worth $5 million plus add-ons. Final details being sealed with Jason Wilcox taking care of it. Negotiations underway on player's salary / contract. Here we go soon. So there we go. Diego Leon to Manchester United. Almost a here we go. Yeah. But back to bath time. He was our best defender up until he won the World Cup in December, and he hasn't got anywhere near those levels. Maguire and Evans have been better for over a year now. I wouldn't say they've been better for over a year now. I'd say one, Martinez has had injuries, just like the other two. I also think, look, Evans has been good, yeah. But come on. We're giving Evans the Vic Star treatment. He's doing very normal things that a centre-back in the Premier League should be doing. He is. I still want, he is leaving at the end of the season because he's retiring, I believe, along with Eriksen, who's also leaving. I don't think he's retiring. I also think Maguire should leave. But we have to relax. We have to stop saying, Martinez has a few bad games. He's terrible. We need to sell him. We don't need to sell him. If the opportunity to sell comes because a team comes in with a suitable offer, then yes, get rid of him. But I am more than happy if Martinez stays and is our long-term centre-back because he is a good defender and he has shown us that he does have the quality. In a rest defence, what do you mean by rest defence? I wonder if Amorim has a preference for left centre-back like Ten Hag, where he must be a left-footed player. It is preferable because, when you're... Think about it like this. You have a left centre-back here and you want to... Managers want to make the task for their players as easy as possible. They want to make it as easy as possible for the player on the ball and the player receiving the ball. So you have your left centre-back here. There's always, more often than not, going to be the opposition right winger here. And then you have the left midfielder / left back here. If you have a left-footed left centre-back, you have the left centre-back here on the ball, right winger here. The ball is naturally going to be played like that. It's going to be played around, so it makes it more difficult for an interception. If you have a natural right-footed centre-back, naturally the ball is going to get played like that. Not, like literally like that or like that. But it just means that in terms of passing the ball with your natural right foot, it's going to be closer and easier for the opposition right winger to intercept, which means that it's going to be more difficult for the left centre back to get the ball to the left wing back, and also as well receiving the ball. If a left centre back is left footed and they're passing it to the left back / left midfielder, it's going to be easier for the player receiving the ball to receive it on their left foot, which is their back foot, and be progressive off the first touch, because once again, the ball gets passed like that, like almost curved out. Left back receives it on the left foot and it's just straight boom. If you're the right-footed left centre-back, it's going to be more difficult for the first touch of the receiver to be progressive because it gets passed inwards. Have to almost open out your body even more and push it in front of you. I don't know. I don't know if you guys understood that, but it made sense in my head. I wonder if Amorim has a preference for left centre-back. I love Martinez, but whoever decides to have him mark the taller player is criminal. Yes, things like that don't make sense to me. Agreed, Ronnie. I also don't think we should be zonal marking. Arsenal exploited that, so we will be out of... arrest defensive structure you have in possession. Oh, so just in possession. To protect against transitions. It's 3-2 at the moment with United. With one centre-back and two CDMs protecting the centre and the outside centre-backs dueling the wide areas. I've never actually heard the term rest defence. I would think that's just called in possession. It's 3 United with one centre-back and two CDMs protecting the centre. Yeah. And the outside centre-backs dueling the wide areas. What was your point before? No, I'm not saying it's confusing, as in I would assume you're talking about when I said it is confusing. I'm not saying, oh, do I defend the wide areas? It's when you're doing it almost for the first time, or it's something new to you and you're learning. When you're learning on the job, it's difficult to get out of old habits. I'd imagine you've played football. You watch a lot of football, so I'd imagine you've played football. When you're a centre mid, yeah, and you're a centre mid, not a defensive mid, not an attacking mid, but you're just a centre mid, there are certain positions which you pick up, yeah, and they just come natural to you because you've been doing it for years. When you then have to play centre defensive midfield one game, those are not natural positions. You don't do the same things. You end up accidentally doing centre midfield work as a DM. As a centre back, when you're playing in the back four with a left back and a right centre back next to you, two, maybe one midfielders in front of you, you do certain things. You might not push out wide because you have your left back there. You might not push up because you have your DM there. But when you're playing in a 3, which I did, shit, now I have to go out there. That's not natural to me. That wasn't natural to me. I had to almost remind myself, whilst I was doing other things, that I'm not meant to be here right now. It wasn't natural. It took a while. And in the 3-back that we're playing right now, we've only had, 4 or 5 games. A lot of these players will be... Obviously, it's going to be quicker for a professional athlete, a professional football player who's an expert in their game than someone like me, as good as I think I am, to grasp something. But at the highest level, the tiniest mistake you make is going to get found out even quicker. When you're playing against players like Saka, when you're playing against players like Salah, when you're playing against players like Kulusevski and all of these Palmers, all of these guys, you make the tiniest error in judgment, which our players will be making right now. It gets found out even more. I played in the Youth Development League in Chile for 3 years, if you're asking if I play football. Yes, so you've played football. We have to, at the moment, we have to cut these guys some slack. We have to cut the players some slack. Even though the system that Amorim wants to play is a system which we've seen work in Sporting, whether or not it's in fucking England or it's in Zimbabwe, it's a system and it's worked. Those players are used to the system. That's their game now. This system isn't Manchester United's game yet. We're on the way. So there are going to be some mistakes. We are going to concede some goals and you think, right, how have we actually conceded that? Why have we conceded that? What the hell is going on? Which is why you'll see some dumb Manchester United fans talking about Amorim out. Talking about this and that Amorim out. We need to go back to front. No. Mistakes will be made because it does happen. Remember, he hasn't been here for 30 days yet. Come on, guys. Come on. I wonder if Amorim will start roughly the same team as Saturday. I'll be honest, I can't even remember the team that we started on Saturday. But if you guys don't remember or don't realise, as see, the thing about Martinez, yeah, he might not be the best fit for a left centre back position in a back 3. But as I'm saying, this is new. We're finding this out now. We're finding this out. Matching his stride to the attacker, there's not really much he can do about that because, he's, 5'10", doesn't have the longest legs in the world, and he's never been the fastest. He's quick across the ground, but he's never been the fastest. But this is something which he needs to learn. But this is what I'm saying. It comes with time. We can't expect him to know all of this and be doing all of this first or second game. He has to acclimatize to the formation, to the system. I think what we're doing is being a little bit and I'm not just directly speaking to Bath Town, by the way. I'm speaking to all of these fans who are writing Martinez off, writing Amorim off, writing Bruno off, all of these other players, writing them off 3 or 4 games into a new management, into a completely new system, by the way. It's not similar to anything we've played before. Very, very different. If we expect all of these players to come in straight away and just do it, we might as well just pack up and leave. It's his physical profile, agreed. He can't really play centrally because of his aerial duels, and he can't physically compete out wide. He can physically compete out wide. He is a physical player. He can physically compete. He has been physically competing with players as much as he can. But this is what I mean about rewriting history. When he first came in, we were all praising him for his aggressiveness. We were all praising him for his ability to be able to manhandle attackers, to be able to hold his own. I don't understand why it suddenly flipped. That's the thing I'm talking about. It doesn't make sense to me why something which he was getting praised for when he first came in, and for a year and however long it was, when he first came in, we're suddenly now saying is rubbish, or we're suddenly now saying isn't good. This is my confusion. We lost that game Saturday on mistakes like Bruno misplaced pass. I'd rather go through the pain now and get better over time. It will take time for players. It will take time to... Yeah, it will get time for us, Ronnie. It will take time. The terrifying thing is there are more losses to come this season. 100%. I'm expecting... Look, I know City are in terrible form right now. I'm fully expecting us to lose on the weekend. There are more losses to come this season. Yes, 100%. However, the difference between losing under Amorim as a new coach with a new system and potential new players maybe in January than losing the same way under Ten Hag is Amorim's new. He's implementing a new system which we've seen work somewhere else. It's more exciting. It will be better in the long run for Manchester United compared to Eric Ten Hag. It was boring. I wasn't Ten Hag out until he left. I'm not going to lie. One, because I didn't think we would get a suitable replacement. And two, I don't know. There was just something about Ten Hag. I thought he'd be able to turn it around. I think I'm way too optimistic. I know I'm an optimistic person. Especially, well, not really. But when it comes to Manchester United, I'm a very, very optimistic person. And I always thought one day he's just going to wake up and think, rah, I need to switch some things around. I just thought he'd wake up, but he just never did. So he dug his own grave. I've always had the issues with Martinez. He was always only effective in deep systems, and I felt that led to bigger spaces between the lines. If you're referring to the general feeling, then yeah, they're reactionary. Yeah. We have players who were suited. Maguire's suited for deeper positions. Martinez would have been suited for deeper positions. The fact that there was a big gap between him and the midfield wouldn't be his fault, though. That's not exactly what I'm saying because I'm only saying it now. But it wouldn't have been his fault. It's not on him it's not his fault that the midfielders are in the opposition box. Because they were. They were. It wasn't his fault that... We all know the gaps that Bath Time is speaking about. Every other game, the opposition players would have someone with that much space on a TV screen, by the way, between the ball themselves and any Manchester United player. I wonder when Diego Leon joins in June, will he go to he'll probably go to the 21s. I reckon he'll go to the 21s. I hope we give Amorim enough time to implement his system without any pressure, then get rid of as many players as we can in January, summer windows and rebuild properly to suit what we need. Bring me Quenda. I want to get rid of a lot of players as well, and even though I've spoken so much, I haven't even gone through what I wanted to speak about. We'll speak about this now that you've spoken about that, Sean. According to Pletigol, whether you want to believe it or not, there are 8 to 9 players who are unsellable for Manchester United. They are Ahmad, Kobbie Mainoo, Nusayr Mazraoui, De Ligt, Lenny Yoro, Andre Onana, and 2 to 3 other key players. It only says 2 to 3 other key players. But there are a lot of players who apparently, now that Dan Ashworth is gone as well, Omar Barada is happy to have on the transfer list. They include Bruno Fernandes. They include Lisandro Martinez. They include Marcus Rashford. It includes Joshua Zirkzee. It includes Diogo Dalot. It includes Garnacho. All of these players, they're up for grabs, allegedly. Allegedly, they're up for grabs. When Ashworth was sacked, I was thinking, yeah, none of these players are safe under Omar Barada and Wilcox. They're not. Amorim is a really odd move because we're trying to build a new stadium, restructure a squad, and recruit. It's 4-3-3. Yeah, no, Amorim will get the time. I think there's a bit more common sense at the top now. I think Amorim will get the time, and I hope he does get the time. Apparently, Barcelona are interested in signing Marcus Rashford as well. Look, Marcus Rashford will have potential suitors. Let me know in the comments as well. Would you accept Marcus Rashford leaving Manchester United? Do you think it's the right time for him to leave Manchester United, or do you think we should keep him? Because I'm so torn. On the one hand, I think he should leave for the sake of his own career and the sake of his own mental well-being, because we treat him like rubbish. I mean, I'm not going to include me in that. I think a lot of Manchester United fans treat him like poo on the bottom of their shoe. However, I don't think we should sell him, because name me one other winger in Europe that will match his output. Not talking about the one season which he only got 9 goals and assists. I'm talking about his general performance when he's getting near 30 goals and assists in a season. That's what I'm talking about, because more often than not, he does get close to that number. There aren't many left wingers or players that will play in his position that match those numbers and have been doing it on a consistent basis. We all talk about Rafael Leao, but what we've criticised Marcus Rashford for is his lack of effort defending, is his inconsistency, is his inconsistent seasons. Rafael Leao has had a couple of good seasons, but Manchester United fans will get onto him way worse than they did for Rashford's defensive output. Kvaratskhelia Kvaratskhelia. We criticised Rashford for his inconsistency. Kvaratskelia's inconsistency. He had the good season when they won the Scudetto, and then they didn't have a good season and he was shit, but no one speaks about it. We speak about Nico Williams. How many goals and assists does he have this season? Isn't it 5 or 4 or something? We speak about Bradley Barcola. We're not going to get him. What other wingers do we speak about that could potentially replace Marcus Rashford? Basically, all of the wingers that we say could replace Marcus Rashford at Manchester United are either worse or do exactly the same things as Rashford, all whilst giving us a lesser output. That's the problem I have with Rashford. The only reason I want him to leave is because I don't think it's healthy for him to be here anymore. I think he's going to eventually be driven out by stupid Manchester United fans who can't put agendas aside, who can't see past the fact that he's our top scorer. He's a 12th or 11th highest scorer in Manchester United's history, by the way. It's not football at this point. They're attacking his mental. He doesn't look happy. He just genuinely doesn't look happy at all. At any point does he look happy. And I think that's the reason why he needs to leave. Karim says, I have a good feeling about this management. Let us just give him some time. I see he wants to win and the new system can clearly be seen 100%. Someone else will score the goals in place of him. Not necessarily a replacement either. It shouldn't be about individual stats, but team stats goals. He's not suited to the system. I think he is suited to the system if he did play as the main guy up front. Mainly because the two attacking midfielders and of course the right and left midfielders are there purely to provide service for that one striker up front. I'll take a look at stats quickly off the top of my head. The stat split of that Sporting team, obviously they had that same formation. They had the Trincao right cam or right midfield, right attacking midfield, and they had Goncalves, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and then they had, I think, Nuno Santos and Quenda as that triangle behind Gyökeres. Gyökeres had 17 goals. I think the next closest scorer was like 4 or 3 or something. but they all had lots of assists. Rashford could be that guy. He could be the Gyökeres until we get Gyökeres, if we get Gyökeres. I just don't think his head is in it. I just don't think his head is in it. And I don't think that's down to his own, stubbornness or his own impetuousness. I think that's down to the fact that I just don't think he's happy at Manchester United anymore because he gets bullied. It's not like criticism. He gets bullied. He gets racially abused. He gets... that should be enough. That should be enough reason. He gets racially abused. He gets abused for literally everything he does. How do you get abused for feeding children? Feeding children that our own government won't feed. He gets abused. Do you get what I'm saying? He's not... I wouldn't blame him if he's not happy here. And I want him to leave only because he can be happy somewhere else. Go and play for PSG. Go and live in Paris. Go and actually... Do you know what? Go and live your best life, Marcus. At this point, you deserve it. You've done more than football has asked you to do. He's done the government's work. Go and live in Paris. Go to Fashion Week. Do what you want. If you want to do fashion, go and do fashion. Just leave Manchester United. Stop it. Stop giving the reasons. Stop giving the fans... it's not even giving them a reason because sometimes he doesn't even do anything. But just get out so the fans stop. Because they obviously are affecting him. And it's sad to see because he's only ever been at Manchester United. It's annoying. It is just annoying. I try and get Mbeumo. Do you know what? I think about Mbeumo a lot, I really think about Mbeumo a lot. And that is a really good shout. But I don't know. I just think there's a reason why he's still at Brentford. I always think to myself when I look at players at like the not top 6 team, not at the teams that are like outside of the top 6, and I always think, why, if you're that good, what is stopping a Dortmund or an Atletico or one of the big teams signing Mbeumo and Visser? Because I always speak about Mbeumo and Visser, and I don't always speak about them. I always think about them in terms of they ball out for Brentford. Like they're the highest score. I believe they're the highest scorers in the league, and that's in no part to Mbeumo and Visser's partnership. Individually, they're good as well. But why hasn't anyone tried to sign them? And honest to God, that is the only reason why I wouldn't take them at Manchester United, because nobody else has tried to sign them. This isn't their first season in the Prem. This isn't their second season. I think this is their fourth. I think this might be their fourth season in the Prem. And they did it instantly. It wasn't like, after 2.5 years, they suddenly were good. They were good as soon as they got here. And yeah, Bath Town, I feel the same about Jonathan David. I wanted him when he was at Genk. Was it Genk or Ghent? I can't remember what one it was. Before he went to Lille, I wanted him at Manchester United. But now I don't want him anymore because nobody else has tried to sign him. Lautaro Martinez, I'm not going to lie, after that World Cup, after the World Cup, I don't want him. I'll try and get Mbeumo, to be honest, to replace him. I want a Ranger player with work rate whilst we rebuild that can play 30 Premier League games. He looks like he's not happy at United, but will he ever be happy at the club? If not, best move on for all parties. Can't get emotional. The club comes before any individual. Correct. Do what is best. You can ask a high twitch athlete like Rashford that players that can change a game in a few seconds. What? You can't ask. Oh, you can't. You can't ask a high twitch athlete like Rashford the players that can change a game in a few seconds over a few yards to consistently press and run all match. It's just not physically possible. You're right. Players like Rashford aren't going to press every match. I think a lot of people, a lot of football watchers don't take a lot of things into consideration. It's like, I seen the other day, people still think Di Maria dived in the World Cup final. And I only speak about the World Cup finals because I'm going to speak about Lautaro Martinez as well. People still think Di Maria dived in the World Cup final. He didn't dive. His heel got clipped. He got tripped up. People still think he dived. A lot of people refuse to see and acknowledge certain things when it comes to footballers. Marcus Rashford, in fact, a lot of African and a lot of Caribbean athletes, footballers, are high twitch athletes. Whether or not they're 5'8" or 6'2", they are high twitch because naturally, by nature, people of African descent, so a lot of the Caribbean community as well, a lot of the Caribbean countries as well, have naturally more high twitch muscles, fast twitch muscle fibers than other people. Yeah, so players like Rashford might not be able to do the constant press that a European footballer might be able to do. We don't take these things into consideration. Or people don't take those things into consideration before abusing Rashford, for example. But I'll talk about Lautaro Martinez. I don't ever want Lautaro Martinez at Manchester United. Don't ever want him. He sabotaged the World Cup final. I'm sure of it. No, did he? Oh, lol. The identity is out there, but the players must change so it can work. Sometimes... I hope you mean sell some of the players. I think a new environment might be good for Marcus. I just don't want him going anywhere in the Premier League. I want him to move abroad because I know for a fact he goes to Arsenal, they win the league, and they pump us at Old Trafford. And he scores. He does a Van Persie. I feel the same about Jonathan... Oh, read that one. Lautaro loves Inter, and he's got a new contract and captaincy, so no way he'll move now. Thank the Lord. I'd take Marcus Thuram, though. Would you sign Osimhen? I would sign Osimhen, yes. I think it's more he plays in a 2 up front and hasn't got a full set of attributes to be a single striker, Sean. Vinny Jr. would get you roughly the same output defensively and attackingly in the Premier League as Rashford. I think we probably need to move away from wanting ballers to wanting athletes. Amorim did say that. He wants... I can't remember the exact words, but he's basically saying he wants players that run more. And hope to find Mane's and Salah's that are both. Guess where Mane and Salah come from? Africa. We have been in the African market. Someone said before, I don't know if they're still here, and I don't know why I didn't read the comment now because I read it in my head. Zyro. We signed a Kenyan international called Zyro, I believe. Can't remember his first name, but I know his second name is Zyro. Don't know anything about him, but we already seem to be dipping into the African market a lot more. We've signed Sekou Kone. Obviously, we already have Amad Diallo here, Andre Onana. And now we've got Zyro. We seem to be dipping into the African market. We've got a very good goalkeeper in Andre Onana. We've got an extremely good player in Amad Diallo. Hopefully Sekou Kone and Zyro follow suit. But I will say one thing that's interesting about Jose Mourinho and African players. Managers know about African players. African players, by the words of Jose Mourinho, they want it more. They want it more because of the way they were growing up, because of where they grew up, because of the troubles they had to go through growing up. It's no surprise to me that Salah and Mane became to be 2 of the best players in world football. It's no surprise to me that Amad Diallo is the type of player he is in terms of his relentless attitude, in terms of his endless stamina, in terms of his selflessness. It's no surprise to me that Andre Onana almost didn't even give a fuck about the criticism that he was getting, and he just focused on his own game. Have you noticed recently? Well, fair enough, the mistakes he made did cost us a spot in the knockout stages of the Champions League, but he didn't bat an eye. And in the league, the whole time, he was still performing very well. He's been probably the best keeper in the league this season. I know he had a bad game on the weekend. Everybody has a bad game. But he's probably been one of the best keepers in the league this season. And the whole time he was bad, he took the responsibility and he said, I will be better. And I take the responsibility. It was my fault. And now look at him. But now look, nobody's saying anything about him. The only people that say stuff about Onana are people that haven't actually watched football in the last few months, etc. It's no surprise to me that he's from Africa. I would definitely take Victor Osimhen up front at Manchester United, purely because of what Mourinho said. Mazraoui as well. I don't know how I forgot about Mazraoui. But yeah, there is something that you will notice. If you haven't already, watch Manchester United's African players. Watch how they present themselves. Watch how they appear on the pitch. Watch how much more they run, and watch how much more they appear to want it over some of the other players, and you will see something will click. The thing I will say about Rashford is he gets no consideration whatsoever for playing a season with a back fracture, and people don't understand why he might have lost a yard of pace. Thank you. He doesn't get any consideration because people just hate him. I don't want to say everything is racism, but I genuinely just think it is racism. Because the reason I think it's racism is because he was getting abused for feeding children that didn't have food during COVID because the government wouldn't do it. That's why I think it's racism. And it spilled over to football. Quinton Fortune Regens, come on. The focus should be on the team and getting it to play as a team. Players need to stop the individuality. That comes with training. That's not going to happen instantly, Karam. Emmanuel Zyra, there we go. Mazraoui, bring me Michael Essien. Jose said something similar about Brazilians as well. To be honest, I'm most annoyed with Onana for messing about with that free kick in the last minute than individual mistakes. They're always going to happen. That annoyed me. That annoyed me from the ref and Onana because a million times in the game, you can't look. This is the foul. This is where the foul happened. 99 times out of 10, the free kick's gonna get taken here. Onana wanted to take it here. Ref said put it here. Onana put it there. Ref said put it here. Onana put it there. Ref said put it here. Onana put it there. 9.9 times out of 10 times in a match, it wouldn't make a fucking difference. But the ref wanted to be very, very, very specific at that specific moment in the last minute of the game. And understandably, Onana was confused, like, what is going on? You know, it is what it is. But guys, we are well over. I have work to do. I'm so late. If you do enjoy the streams on MUFC MPB, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and make sure you follow at MUFC MPB for all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. They were one of the first to break the Diego Leon news. So make sure you do go over and follow. Make sure you follow myself as well if you want to keep up to date with all the latest stuff that's going on in my life. And maybe help me out on my Brighton save. My Twitter is at Anton Brooks AMB. Make sure you do leave a like on this episode. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for any new updates. And we'll be doing a little bit of a preview for the Manchester City game. Victoria Pilsen tonight before I go. We need a score prediction. Score prediction for tonight. I think we're going to go for a comfy 3-0, 3-1 win. That's what I kept forgetting to talk about. Comfy 3-0 or 3-1 win for Manchester United away in Czech Republic, I think. Are they from the Czech Republic? GG Buff time. A lovely face. Well, not a face, but a name, I guess, in the chat. As well as all of you other guys. Don't think I don't see all of the same names in the chat every single day. It's much appreciated. We definitely do appreciate it over here. Are the 7 p.m. streams happening, by the way? I wonder why this... I don't do the 7 p.m. streams, but I don't know why they haven't happened, like, at all, by the way. Sorry about that, because I did say on the first stream back that... there will be a 7 p.m. stream. I don't know why they haven't been happening. Sean says 2-0. Bath Time says 2-1. I say 3-0 or 3-1. I will come to a conclusion later on today. But yeah, basically a Manchester United win. I do actually have to go because I do have stuff to do for work. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you do leave a like and subscribe. Follow myself and at MUFC MPB over on Twitter. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.